Alright, hello everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean no one at the moment, because this particular cast is not really a live stream cast, it's a locally recorded one, because Palidore is having internet issues, but that's okay, because I'm here anyway to make sure we get all the matches possible streamed for those at home and for those competing in this match today, which is to say, Inertia versus Lost Vayne coming on in. So just getting ready to start. The teams have been pinged. And this will be my first cast since, well, Saturday. So how about that? Today is the 7th of July, Tuesday. And while I continue to struggle with upload issues, we're going to struggle a little bit less with getting started here in this match. First round about to be underway. Coming in on the Inertia side. They have a filled up roster here, but the four they're rolling with will be Vayne VR, Muzi09, J-Train 1975, and Cool Master Coop. Very, very cool, in fact. Over on Lost Vayne's side, the blue side, we're looking at another well, 5-man roster for them, but they're rolling with Frozen Scorpio, Steamed Hams, Randolph, and VR Duckus. Alright, so first round, here we go. For these two teams here being streamed for the first time is Lost Vayne. Meanwhile, for Inertia, they were streamed, or at least partially streamed, just some days ago. And off we go on the joust. So first possession going to be taken here. Inertia going immediately for that shot, but unable to connect through the goal. So through the tunnel instead, as the teams here look for their boost, coming in mighty hot on the defensive end at the very least, trying to cover off that goal. Meanwhile, Cool Master Coop does retain and sends it back to Vayne. Very neat indeed. Going for a high clear, but up into the top pocket, where a bit of a pile-up starting to form here between the teams, but a nice tap back to Randolph, who does get stunned actually by a good by a good punch here from Vayne. So right through the tunnel, and will be taken here on the other end by the bubble. It's VR Duckus, and Duckus with the disc has a teammate attached, getting a light boost off. Not a lice boost. You need to see a doctor for that if that was the case. But nonetheless, J-Train gets the disc right back, and he's going to be assaulted from up above. Didn't see the defender perhaps just past that little Geo right here. So instead, a clear does go through, successfully so. And all the meanwhile, look at Frozen Scorpio doing a great job to brawl and deny 2 or 3 different players for Inertia, but nonetheless, Inertia still manages to wrangle the disc. The lone player on the other side of the floor does get that back, does manage to find Vayne, and he's going to be stunned as well. Losing a disc here now to the bottom ramp, where it'll just go right back to Neat. Now Neat with a disc, but not for too long. Steamed Hams with some steamy hot defense. No idea. But Vayne with a pass over to the side. Muzi trying to find his teammate in stride, couldn't do so. So right back to the mid lane, you can see those short range grabs and trying to look for maybe a clear and boost, but again, good punches, so gotta appreciate the fact here for both sides now, for Inertia here, seeing the stuns going out, trying to deny the mobility the same way that Lost Vayne was trying to deny them just moments ago in the tunnel right here. So definitely not afraid to brawl it up as the disc gets retained. A couple minutes off the clock in this first round here in week 2 of VRML. So now stunned out, Vayne gets a disc back and will be obtained by Steamed Hams. Now, the deep shot would have been a bit off, but still, not a bad throw. That said, Cool Master is going to just be able to retain that, but sends it right back to Steamed Hams. Steamed Hams almost getting a goal there as Cool Master retreated back into the goalkeeping end of things. And Frozen Scorpio, now with a disc, doesn't miss the pass, does miss the shot, however. So 3 minutes now past this first round, and one thing you can say for certain, it's brawl heavy, it's boost heavy. Kind of one in spite of the other. Definitely these teams trying to stabilize here with some actually great passing, but the shot saved by Cool Master, the goalkeeping master, if nothing else. Shot taken a little bit far out there, no doubt because of the defensive pressure at that shoulder, so very nicely done on the end of Inertia. Now that said, Randolph gets the disc back, and maybe another chance at the offense here. should it be obtained there by VR Duckus, but doesn't get it. His teammates, however, will. So spreading the floor immediately, trying to go for that pass right back to the same shoulder. But again, the stun from Neat VR this time. So the defense, very nice, cutting him off the backboard and just barely missing that one as well. So a lot of attempts, but still scoreless yet here in this game. Extremely defensive from Inertia now. It's been stuck here. That said, the goal was open for a moment. Couldn't find the disc, couldn't find the shots, but you know who did? Cool Master again. That is the second save, maybe the third even, just coming in there, but really, whether it's inside the goal or right on the outer edge of the bubble, the defense from Inertia looking mighty, mighty good. So finally, though, it does get back to this side of the floor. That is to say, Lost Vayne's side here on blue. It's been a while, and maybe not going to be there for too long. We'll see. The defense now for Lost Vayne, it's going to be in their hands to kind of do what Inertia had just done for the past couple minutes now, as we approach this halfway point of the round. Will be a reset going out, or attempting to rather, but it will just ricochet back towards Frozen's hand. Now Frozen doesn't hold it for too long. Cool Master in the very back line tries to get rid of that as well. Maybe rushed a tad bit because there's a deep shot. Will be off for the boost. The boost very nice coming in. However, denied by V Neat with some punches, it looks like. Nonetheless, coming out of the stuns and spreading the floor, Randolph at one end, you have Duckus at Bowtie, you have at the barrier, oh no, Cool Master, but a retention, and it suffice to mention, the defense here absolutely incredible, yet again remaining scoreless, fantastic game, and now couldn't find the shot again, but one more try from Randolph, but no, he gets absolutely denied there, trying to roll off and spin around the backboard. And yet again, scoreless here in the first, and so many very, very, very close attempts and near misses, and just an absolute show that these teams are putting on here defensively to open it up, to the point where that'll happen sometimes, where even, you know, maybe there are a couple narrow dings that you say, you know, in a normal situation they would have gone in. But that's the case when you have such good defense on the outer bubble and the goalkeeping end. It really forces you to think extra and makes you even more, you know, just out of it a little bit when you finally do get those easier shots. So that's definitely one of those factors. You make with Inertia making them work so hard to get the just regular offense going. Once they do actually get some looks, you know, they're so expended already from the past possessions and the past attempts. But that said, despite all that great defense in and around the two-point area for Inertia, they have not been able to break through on this side of the floor too much. So 3:27 remaining here, still the first round, of course. And highly contested to say the least. Now there is a deep backliner there. It's going to be Cool Master with another get and another send right through the tunnel. But of course, waiting there is Steam Hams. So I think Cool Master has been showing just a excellent propensity at the goal, been just grabbing those left and right and getting the interceptions. I think the only misgiving is really just getting rid of that disc so quickly as Steamed Hams gets that shot off the back, rolls in slow, and what a fascinating way to get the first goal. Unexpected, really, is what the word I'm looking for is, I think. That was after 7 minutes being scoreless. They get the boop shot, the old ceiling shot there off the top. So how about that? So now it will be right back to Inertia, and it's going to be their opportunity here to convert. We know with the Rhythm Echo Arena, it's actually not uncommon to see sometimes where, yeah, that first score might take several minutes to come through and to occur. But we've seen it happen before where once it does, suddenly the next team scores rather quickly, again, in comparison, after, 30 seconds or a minute or so. Not sure if that'll be the case here, but it wouldn't be an uncommon thing just to see that once the seal is broken, suddenly scores start going through with a lot more ease. Now, grabbing it with ease is J-Train, but needs to slap it quickly thanks to the speedy defense coming through also on the feet there. Steamed Ham, some good positioning, just sailing narrowly past his mitts as Coolmaster does collect it and bounce clears it off the bottom ramp into the mid zone. But of course, Frozen Scorpio there doing a little bit of what Coolmaster was doing. Now that said, going for the anchor shot doesn't make it, but it was a good attempt. Not too bad. I mean, at that juncture, basically had to either shoot that quickly because of the defense approaching or had to find a reset, so just took the angle. And nonetheless, their team here for Lost Vayne, they're going to retain. Anytime they do lose a disc, it's not for terribly long, it seems. And there we go. It's Duckus with a disc. Needs to duck this if he can, because there is a defender approaching mighty fast. Does manage to shake him for a minute, but then gets stunned later on. Meanwhile, Randolph in the back line, midline that is, getting it over to Frozen Scorpio. And Frozen in the rad area, the rad logo there by the bottom. And at this point, score or not, I mean, even if they just stall it out for a little extra bit, as they actually go for a good pass here to Duckus, and he will get this for the 5th point. So there you go, 2 minutes off the clock that time before scoring once more, but that will conclude this round. Just about 20 seconds left and counting. Very defensive, very brawl heavy, and just a grind of a match. Definitely a grind of a match, to say the least. You can hear some of those comms coming through openly as the last few seconds wind down. So one more take and maybe a chance, but will not go. And that's 5 points here, starting it off to favor Lost Vayne. You're there. The opening comms there saying that was an insane round, and I agree. That was quite the again, just the battle, physical, tense. The defense, so immense, and making sense. Not me. So round 1 does come to an end. And we'll take a look at what we're working with here for the scores. So you see there, it is, I mean, points-wise, obviously not too much to work with. What it does come down to, though, is the effort from Steamed Hams and VR Duckus. They got the 5 points there combining. 1 assist going to Randolph. 3 saves for Frozen Scorpio, as well as a steal and 11 stuns. Meanwhile, Steamed Hams with a 1 steal and Randolph with 11 stuns in his own right. Over on Inertia, it was 4 saves and mighty good ones from Coolmaster Coop, as well as 2 stuns. 1 save and 13 stuns for J-Train, 12 stuns and 2 steals for Musi. And then V-Neat VR with 1 save and 20 stuns. So the stun department favoring the side of Inertia here. Not too much of a surprise if you just saw what was occurring in that bubble especially. But that said, looks like, oh, we got a restart here. So I'm not sure what had happened. Looks like, okay, there we go. So one of the players dipping out, either dipping or crashing, restarting, whatever the case was. We have ourselves a little intermission. You can hear it calm there.
That was really heated.
Great freaking round, man.
That was so heated.
Oh my god. Dude, I was so happy that this is being recorded, at least locally, so we can watch it, because it was fantastic.
Yeah, that was so
no, I was always surprised for
True
hands.
story.
I was like, wait a second, that's going in.
I never hit those boop shots.
That was his very first over-the-cloud shot that I ever saw of him.
So we're going to use up our 5 minute for tech to see if he could get back on. And then after that,
for sure. Sounds good.
At 5, we'll continue.
Yeah.
Hopefully he does. Oh.
We've all been crashing all day, so hopefully he's back soon.
Dude, the servers has been just really fucked up lately.
Yeah, I think so. Something's going on today.
Oh, excuse my language. Sorry.
It's all good.
You're fine. So I guess I'll take this time. It's very strange because I'm not.
Thanks for streaming us, boys.
Well, stream in a loose sense, locally recording. But yeah, it's a little bit strange since I'm not talking technically to anyone live at the moment, so I'm just talking to my mic and to myself since we're not actually streaming this, because again, my internet, after all these long months and hundreds of games of casting,
Wait, he's not here. The Palidore just left.
Finally decided to just well, bug out on me, and it's apparently a neighborhood thing. So that's why we still have other casters and cameramen streaming live on Twitch, but not available for this one. Hence me being here recording locally, and hence you in the VOD watching this right now, thinking that I'm a lunatic because I'm just talking to myself. But so it goes. On the note of the whole, who was I think Musi apologizing for the language or something. So on that. Just for reference, they don't really mind language or anything. Obviously, if it's toxic and directed at other people, then it's a problem. In the context of the regular gameplay, it's not really a big deal. Worst case, like if it's a frequent thing, it's up to the caster's discretion.
Because his upload speed is messed up right now. So doing it just locally.
There you go. You can hear the players talking about it a little bit. Anyways, at the caster's discretion. So we don't want like players consciously worrying about, oh, is this language gonna go on stream? Am I gonna get in trouble for it? No, you don't have to really worry about that. Again, only if it's mean-spirited and toxic, directed at other people, things like that. That's when it would be an issue. But if you're just having general talk and banter, it's fine. Fun fact. I'm not sure it's that fun, but my team on Eclipse when we were competing back in the earlier days of Echo Arena competition, ESL and whatnot, especially at some of these big streams and big LAN events, we were notorious for that kind of thing. All right, there we go. Just communicating with Musi and Discord, letting them know that we're good. But yeah, so my team Eclipse was kind of notorious for the extra foul language that happened to make its way onto streams. And to be fair, we warned the staff and the organizers. We were like, you don't understand, because they wanted open comms and they were telling us about that. I'm like, oh, okay, but you don't understand. I mean, we're very what's the word? Bombastic. And we're very colorful in our language. And by me, I don't mean me, of course. I mean my teammates. I would never. Anyway. All right, that said, round 2 for real this time. So let's get to it, shall we? But yeah, very strong effort and first round, super entertaining. Looks like the Miss Joust perhaps getting stuck up in the back line. So Lost Vayne will retreat on defense, and they will retain the disc, maybe, as it sails to the hands here, waiting hands of Steam. But we'll just get right into the hands of Neat now. So Neat VR going to eye down the defense. You can see them retreating and taking position, trying to spread the floor and just cover every edge of the bubble if they can, and protect it much the same way Inertia did. So on the stack here, maybe an open goal. Could it be? Oh no, it's almost in. And that would have been a much quicker start there, if nothing else, compared to the first round. Took us 7 minutes to get our first score in round 1. So a good opportunity there. And, for Lost Vayne, they're probably wishing they could have converted on that one, of course. Just knowing how much that would have helped them momentum and maybe got them off to a hotter start here, offensively speaking. Because the defense for Inertia was so stringent on that end that, yeah, you definitely want to convert on those open goals, because Coolmaster especially was just terrifying the few times that they did get to have those more open shots or drives on the goal. Of course, all the brawling coming in with frequency from the rest of Inertia's players kind of denied them from even getting it close to that goal for a lot of opportunities. So let's see, though, how this is played on offense, because that is a real question for Inertia, is just how they convert, and if they can convert here on the blue side of the floor. The positioning was definitely good. The passing just slightly off. Now you see the midliner dragging Coolmaster up there. And ideally want to try and find a position to a teammate. Now we'll actually take some fortunate bounces that does get to the hands here of Neat. So Neat's going to the sky and trying to maybe rebound that. Actually just might rebound it his own self. And he does. So a kind of long way around to pass it and eventually get it back to himself anyway. Neat VR up to the nest, but that's going to be cut off pretty nicely here by Frozen Scorpio. Unable to get the clear despite that, as it does sail to the midfield. Now Randolph is there as well as Steam Hams, but look at the speed coming in here now from Neat as well as Musi. So getting right on back again. Now, Randolph will take that disc or try to get it through. Unable to really get rid of it in time, so VNeat VR does get their back. Looks like the speed a little bit in the advantage here of Frozen. Definitely fortunate since that goal would otherwise have been open. Now a handoff pass, bit too strong here coming in, but maybe another self-rebound. No, looks like instead a take by Frozen, but right back is J-Train. So J-Train needs to go for that well-trained pass off the bounce here and forced to clear it off the miscatch. VR Duckus slapping it towards center. And the stacks now once again underway, but a good boost there. Punch boost at that from Cool Master, of course. Anytime you can get those extra little punches on while you're flying through, give you some boost in momentum if possible. Now trying to get creative with it is Musi, and you know what? Creative it is and does happen to work. So gets over up here to VNeat VR. Needs to be careful. If nothing else, going for a very nice shot. Don't know where I was going with that, but you know what? VNeat certainly did. It's 3 points being hit as well, and that is a big boon and a big get for Inertia here, starting off the second round. I say starting off, but we're about a third of the way through, of course, but nonetheless, VR Duckus will be QBing here, and on the offensive joust for the first time was Lost Vayne as they just tried to capitalize here. A bold punch, going for a bold shot. And I'm sold that was very, very good on their parts as well. Frozen Scorpio kind of freezing out everyone else on the floor because, yeah, he had the confidence and the ability there to hit the backboard, pin it off the wall, and hit the 2 points. So still will be down by 1. Unfortunately, because of that, but Cool Master Coop will sling the disc out here on the offensive launch. Now VR Duckus having it stolen. A great grab there by Musi and an even better shot. And that is Musi to my ears. The sound of the goal, open and converted and leaving them hurt. It's Musi 09 getting the 6th point here for Inertia in round 2. Of course, trying for these two teams are trying to, well, for Inertia's side, force that round 3. Round 1, 5-0 in favor there of Lost Vayne on blue. So as the tunnel punches come on through, as has frequently been the case, Randolph trying to find the perfect placement to Steam Dams, but Cool Master again. He is just absolutely cool as ice, if nothing else. He is just saving things left and right every time they come his way. So definitely showing that goalkeeping prowess, that just uncanny ability that some players have a knack for. Of course, not to say that there's no practice involved, but I feel like just as much as anything in Echo Arena, defense and goalkeeping explicitly are just one of those aspects that are so hard to master. As behind the back attempt, I believe, from Musi, only in Echo Arena and basketball do you see things like that, and that's why we love Echo. It's such a physical and athletic sport, and you can see those moves being attempted and pulled off. But yeah, the goalkeeping ability, again, it's just, it's so hard to get proficient with that. I would say for most people in Echo's history, you can certainly practice, but there's just some people have that natural inclination, which is just, yeah, it's built into their DNA, I feel like. That said, trying to build up a score and a 3.1 at that. Frozen Scorpio, and he stung them all right. 6-5. Still favoring the Inertia folk here on orange. But without a doubt, that's a close game. About a minute 36 into that particular joust, but you know, there's still plenty of time on the clock here. The pacing, certainly of round 2. Higher scoring and back and forth. That's the, once more, just making those sports comparisons. That's the beauty of Echo Arena and Echo VR. It's, you get those just great ebbs and flows and those changes of rhythms, you know, teams go hot, they go cold. It's just a back and forth battle. Oh, the unfortunate bounce there, actually going off the head, so unable to read it, but reading the punch beautifully. And delivering it at that. So Randolph losing the disc, though. Frozen Scorpio retains, has a potential cutter going for the ducks and going right up under the armpits there. And actually going up by 1. So Frozen Scorpio, big shot, big time, 7-6 with 2 minutes left and game on the line here for Inertia. They need to clap back if they want to stay invested and stay competing in this series. Best of 3. Of course, we always love to see it. I'm sure Inertia would love to see it. And you know what? Based on what we were hearing from those players in the between round chatter, they were extremely excited with how that match was going and how competitive it was. So, in a sense, maybe even Lost Vayne would love to see it, or at least wouldn't hate to see it. I'm sure they would love to win this in 2 if at all possible. And right now they're definitely in position to do that, especially if they score again here. So they're up by 1, 1:38 seconds left. They pass delivered very nicely to Duckus. Duckus is going to just miss, but on the other end, great positioning by Steamed Hams. So Steamed Hams having it stolen by Musi, and that's a very important grab and a perfect clear. The question is, can they get the boost? There it is. They missed that first regrab, but doesn't matter. They have the lane, and they have the game, perhaps. Musi delivering again in a timely manner. Another 3-point hit for him, and that's up by 2 points. So 1 minute, 12 seconds left in the round 2, and in position to take this one if they can hold it together. Inertia's defense definitely, absolutely stalwart in the first round despite the loss. And now they just need to do it again inside that bubble of theirs. You know, close off those passes into the 2-point zone and deny them at the goal. You know, don't give them the opportunity like this one. And it's going to be Randolph dishing it up to Steamed Ham. So Steamed from up high in the sky, ceiling, but oh my, just missing it. 42 seconds left, and Cooler Master, a wise dive, and he's a wise guy. Definitely getting the clear here. And now they just need to be careful. 33 seconds left. The biggest priority here is exactly what Cool Master is doing, which is to say, as Musi forces a turnover, not letting a 3 go through. You know, worst case scenario, if they score again, then it's just a 2-pointer, it's an overtime, you're fine. But if they do, oh no, if they do get this disc back here, they just do not want that 3. So positioned out and a bounce, fortunately going to hands of Randolph. Could we be looking at an OT? 8 seconds left to make it happen. They have passes up at the post. They have right below. They have one small chance, but couldn't get that. And now it's the round, and it's round 3 indeed. Inertia and Lost Vayne. How about this match so far? Live stream or not, like the players are saying, worth the watch, live or otherwise. 9-7 in that second round. And yeah, much higher scoring again as well, compared to the first, which was only 5 points total. So as we roam here to the score screen, take a look at our stats and see what the factors might be. Now coming on up soon. Now, I can tell you right away, clear as day. It's just a Musi. Definitely a very, very important round with those offensive hits, those 3-pointers, from that right side of the outer bubble. Both of them super timely and super important in the context of this match. Doing a fantastic job for his team. And of course, the leave in 24 stuns, the 3 steals, so just big effort. V Neat with 3 points, 31 stuns now. J Train now up to 22 stuns. Cooler Master up to 5 saves. Meanwhile, as we head back off here for the third round, with 7 points for Frozen, 3 for Steamed, and 2 for Duckus, and 23 stuns for Steamed Ham as well. Let's see what this round provides us. This is now winner take all. These 10 minutes dependent on the results, which is a very John Madden thing to say, I suppose. But nonetheless, I state the obvious here sometimes, and that's okay, because this is obviously a fun match. There is a very quick boost coming in, stunning out Neat VR, so good job here by Lost Vayne to get that one done. Now they're going to roll in for the reception and have plenty of time to spare at that. All the meanwhile, Randolph with a disc here on the other end. and is going to have it lost actually by the stun. So Vayne trying to take that and just dish it out, so that dog pile forming, and as is often the case when those dog piles form, kind of tough to find a teammate, and right there, tough finding the goal. So had a chance at it, trying to get creative with the offensive roles. Some of these things, I mean, that was Musi again, I believe, and he was the same one who had that behind the back attempt earlier, so reminiscent of certain steezy players of this league, maybe a miniature Joker in a sense. Of course, Team Joker, the champions of VRML North America in Season 1, and look at that, another Seasoned 1, which is a say spicy from Cool Master Coop. Right up there in the coop. And player's just unable to get anything through his brick wall of defense, it would seem. So a good leech and boost there from Vayne. Might be able to get there with some speed, but just in time and dodging through that defense. Still, though, will roll right back to the top of the ramp. And taken now by Musi. So Musi, the clever moves, and he's in a groove now. It's 2 points, opening up this third round. So Inertia on the board first. Gotta tell you, my upload speed is so terrible, and yet this game is so entertaining that I'm going to at least attempt to upload just to see how much time it'll take, but I'm kind of doubting I'll be able to do much. Nonetheless, though, hopefully whenever you guys are watching this, it hasn't been too much time. Now, that said, finding a shot just barely offline. That was so close, and Musi finally missing a 3, if nothing else. He hit those big ones in round 2, but that one just unable to secure it. But Cool Master, he'll certainly secure it, get it over to the mid lane, and being lost out here, though, to Duckus, as Duckus now goes for a pass attempt, perhaps a little bit strong, but on the other end, the backliner, Cool Master, once more with a disc and slings it back to the bottom here, where it's collected by Randolph. And Randolph to Frozen Scorpio. He had that backboard 3 earlier. He has it again. So the Lord of the Backboard, Frozen Scorpio. Come to think of it, I think that first one earlier may have been a 2, but that one was certainly a 3. Either way, point is, you kind of saw it coming, and I was calling it just before it happened, because he looked hungry. He saw that angle once again, and we already knew what he did earlier with it, so was not a surprise to see him attempt it again, much less make it again. So very good job, as the disc eventually collected carefully here by Cool Master. But Cool Master doesn't get the clear off in time because of that delayed from that initial ricochet. So maybe just a one-on-one here, and we'll get that through. Steamed Hams going a little ham on the goal. And I'm sure for Steamed Hams there, and for all of Lost Vayne, maybe just wiping the forehead, the sweat off the forehead a bit. Feeling mighty fortunate that they managed to finally get a shot through Cool Master, because it has not been an easy task whatsoever. But that said, for Inertia, it's going to be a task here, just trying to get back on the offensive end. They kind of struggled with it in round 1 in particular. Came back with some ferocity in the second, and almost in the third here, going for that roll of a shot right off the bottom. And meanwhile, the double backliners do retain. So Cool Master needs to get rid of that one with some speed, and he does. And now the scrambled defense recollecting for Duckus. But look at the grab. Musi again giving a little cheer at that, and why not? He's earned it. So brings him right back to 1 point deficit for Inertia. And again, still 5:26 to spare, so a lot of clock at play. And a lot of entertainment at play, if nothing else. So a turnover maybe here, we'll see, gets to Frozen, so maybe indeed able to recollect that and undo any potential damage that may have occurred. That said, Randolph with a disc, he's going to anchor, he's going to juke. Opening the door, letting him through, the anchor shot as well, and that's a 2. Randolph goes up by 3 points for Lost Vayne now, and that was most steezy from Randolph.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
So that definitely could be, we'll see. It could be one of those plays that just start building huge momentum, and just the same, taking it away from Inertia. Anytime those really steezy jukey type moves and those anchor shots, things like that. Those are the ones that can hurt teams' mentality. You know, it hurts a little extra worse. Yes, it was only a 2-pointer, but definitely it's a feel-good play for Lost Vayne, and it's a feel-bad play for Inertia or any team who kind of suffers the fate of those more hot doggy type moves and shots. Those definitely mental factor going to be at play in games like this and in sports in general. So that's always a curiosity on how it will play. But that said, not seeming too bothered too much yet, as Inertia does get the disc back here and with an opportunity. So there's a cross pass, a bit too strong, had to throw it with some speed because of that mid lane defender trying to cut off the that angle. And that said, though, a good short range leech and a boost here from J-Train. So you really got to love that awareness. But that said, being caught unaware, it's Duckus now with a disc off that grab. Deep in the goal here is Cool Master, and retaining is Duckus. So if they do score here, that would be pretty massive, I must say. Now, that said, a shot! Oh, going off the back, and very fortunate for Inertia. Not being punished. But maybe in this next attempt, oh no, punishing them on the defense again. Cool Master Coop, absolutely unstoppable inside the goal. Will it translate to a goal on this end, though? No, because the just narrowest of overshoots, and that is going to be very tough. A bounce pass here, a little too strong, maybe a little too flashy on that end. Of course, the bounce pass, no, my goodness, nothing wrong with it, but in that particular case, just losing the disc out. Luckily, not being punished, so Cool Master gets it right back, but the midline player here, Duckus, retaining. So, with a 3-point lead, 2.5 minutes remaining, there's still plenty of time here, if this pace continues, for the Inertia players to get right back and make this a match, make this, you know, either a 1-point game, potentially a tie. But that said, Diz just getting by and barely missing on that one. So again, you're just clutching up. I mean, on the caster's end, I am. So you definitely know. You definitely know for Inertia, probably clenching a little bit on that. That said, 2:10 now as the clock continues to roll and wind down. And that shot just goes out to Cool Master. Now he gets a clear this time. Indeed, he does. There's the immediate boost. You got to love that mobility being shown here from Lost Vayne. But getting knocked there on the Geo a little bit. So needs to get rid of that rather soon. And he does, trying to find a pass maybe to the teammate who was there for a while, but unable to do so. So now spinning on through. There's Neat VR. He's going to be assaulted and will vault for the disc there as well. VR Duckus gets a clear, and that is going to be damaging to the efforts despite the retention from Inertia on the other end. Just wasting that clock, and the more this winds down, the more desperate they're going to be in terms of needing that score, especially maybe a 3-pointer. If they act fast right now, they can still just go for a 2 and play some good defense and have a chance. So there it is. There's a 2. Oh, but no chance at all. VR Duckus gets a save, pulling off an incredible clutch move. But that said, these shots off the backboard and almost, but no goal, and back to the pocket it goes. And definitely these teams pulling out all the tricks from their back pockets, all the clutchness as he drops it. Randolph being stunned out. And now to the back end, losing it. Now if that boost comes through with some speed, which it does, there's a punch, and V Neat is trying to get that back. But here goes to the midline again, needs to be careful, 50 seconds left, and unfortunately for Inertia, at this point, let's see if this shot goes through. If it does not, Inertia needs to get it back, and they're going to really need to go for that 3-pointer at the next juncture. So one more, and it will be punctured through by VR Duckus, 9-4. That is a very, very crucial score here with 29 seconds left, and will look to be good to secure the win. But what a match that was, and some stellar plays, just round to round, minute to minute, punch to punch, save to save. Very, very little I can say bad about. No. I was gonna say, Randolph with a 3 there, bouncing it off at the last few seconds, 12-4. Wow. Wow. I say very few things I can say bad about that game. There was really there was nothing. It was just intense. That was a battle, and that was just a really fun one to witness. But victory, indeed, will go to the hands of Lost Vayne in a match that ultimately maybe looks a little bit more lopsided than it actually was in this third round. I mean, 12-4, sure, but you know, you take away just that last-minute bounce and you know those last-minute scores. The rest of the way, I mean, that was still completely even from these two teams. I mean, all the way through. You know, not a lot of separation whatsoever, and just supremely entertaining at the end of the day. So, looking at the match there, it was indeed Musi09 over there on Inertia with a 10 big points, 1 assist, 36 stuns. Big match. You got Vayne VR with 3 points and 40 stuns. Wow. 2 saves as well.
GJ train.
Trying not to talk over the players too much here, because
the score of the second round was.
It kind of.
What was it again?
You gotta love just the sportsmanship and the excitement being shown there. Score for round 2, 9-7.
Yeah.
What's the second score?
Here, I'll type it to them in chat.
I mean, we could ask him and he'll look it up. I actually forgot that.
Yeah, because I kind of.
Because I was talking with the team.
Yeah, we were
Here, in
kind
fact-
of hyped for this match because this is like the very first. Like,
Here, I'll write it all for them. 0-5 first round, 9-7 second round,
I know the first
4-12 third. But yeah.
Wait.
I didn't even care. I don't even care if we lost. I was just.
Yeah, that was a great. We need to scrim again, though. We definitely need
That
to
was
scrim again.
insane,
Oh, dude,
guys.
yeah.
That first
See-
game was like, what the fuck?
What the
Yeah,
pub?
I mean, nobody scored until like.
But see,
I mean,
Yeah.
like, holy crap.
I'm cool with not reading the stats for a moment,
back and
because
forth until like 2 minutes left. And
those are the kind of things I like to hear. You know, we all know how it is. Anyone watching this VOD or any of these games on Twitch on the daily is just that goes fun. You know, when you get those intense matches where you're just sweating by the end of it, you felt like it could have gone either way, and you had these big, just immensely clutch plays on either end of the floor for both teams. I mean, those are the ones that just make you feel all alive and love the game. That's why we're all in it and still in it, and I love to hear it too from these rookie teams into the league. You know, showing that despite the fact that they are rookies, in terms of time played, they're coming along fast to really provide a super tense competition and just impressing.
Recorded all 3 games, so I can always
So
watch the
it was a good time, fun time. To read the scores here, though, and get back to my duties, I suppose. Lost Vayne was leading the way there with 10 points, 1 assist, 4 saves, and 2 steals. 23 stuns as well. Now Randolph with 5 points, 3 assists, and also 23 stuns. You had Steamed Hams, 5 points, 2 saves, 28 stuns, and VR Duckus with 4 points, 1 assist, 3 saves, and 6 stuns.
Wait, you're the goalie, right? You're the goalie.
So
Are you the youngest on the team?
it was just a definitely a highly defensive and brawl intensive game to start off, and as it progressed, it got more and more offense heavy, but the defense really never left either. Very impressed from Cool Master Coop, I will say, on Inertia. Some of those saves, they were not easy, and racking up 8 saves. I mean, that's nothing to shake a stick at. That'd be a great number from any player in this league. I know from personally, I'd be lucky to get 8 saves across probably 5 sets of matches, honestly. So, props to him for sure. But yeah. Anyway, I think that'll do it. Just making sure I have everything all in order. As I said, it's kind of strange not having a second caster, not having a Twitch stream to interact with. It's also strange. Glad I recorded this though, so hope you guys listening at home, wherever you are when you're listening to this, or whenever you're listening to this, have enjoyed. Congrats to Lost Vayne, who will now increase their record there to 2 wins on the season. Meanwhile, for Inertia, they're going to go 2-1, or 2-2 rather. And that's about it. So thank you to everyone for watching. Thanks to our sponsors, ProTube VR, VR Cover, Rebuff Reality, Fixed Gaming, and VRware. I've been Palidore. This has been VRML Season 2, Week 2. be happy, be healthy, be safe, and I'll see you again, hopefully live and not recorded, soon.